Alrighty, so on the eve of the World Cup final between Argentina versus France, I'm pretty sure a lot of people forgot that we also have a third place match. And I know for a while that, whenever you have a third place match in the FIFA World Cup, many people would think that it's going to be boring and not much is going to happen. And especially when you have Croatia versus Morocco, I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought that this was going to be a boring game and that there's going to be nothing that's going to happen for 120 minutes before someone prevailed in the PK show to win the third place match. And oh boy, are you absolutely wrong about what we saw in this game, because not only the fact that we saw some entertaining action in this game where both of these teams actually do care that they want to finish third place in this World Cup, but we actually had goals, and we had some goals in just 10 minutes into it. In fact, the first goal came in just 7 minutes into this game as Verdali would score from Perisic to give Croatia a 1-0 lead. But that lead did not last long, because literally 2 minutes later, and probably about 115 seconds to be exact, Dari would score to tie the game up at 1 apiece. But then Osic almost retake the lead for Croatia, but he missed wide from long range. And yeah, I mean, early on, defense was optional. Like, that's something I haven't mentioned a lot, besides the fact that if we see like a big blowout, one team, their defense decided to not show up. But in this case, both defenses decided to not show up. Like, it feels like they probably have checked out from this. They didn't even want to participate in this third place finish match, because it was a fireworks start to this third place match. I mean, it was end-to-end action. There was chances for both of these teams. And again, nobody expected this to happen. Everybody thought that both of these teams were just going to play a slow slog fest kind of game like what we've seen them play against these bigger teams. And I think that maybe is the reason why, because I think on paper this is a very even matchup. And with the way that I know both of these teams kind of play in a very similar style where they like to counter and take advantage on the set piece opportunity, you're not going to be able to do that when both teams are going to play against each other head to head, and those styles are not going to mesh together. And I can understand why maybe some will say that doesn't mean that this will reserve in a kind of a slugfest kind of game, but also at times, because of the fact that both teams loves to counterattack each other, we have like one team decide to counter, and then the other team basically just counter back, just kind of like counter the counter in some way. And I think that's why we kind of saw how both of these teams were just going very fast and going end to end early in this one. Kemeric then hits one right to Bono before Modric actually hits one right to Bono, but Bono almost made a big mistake here. He actually spilled this one and almost trickled right to Lavaha, but he was just able to punch that one away as Lavaha was ready to tap that one in. And again, nervy moments at the back again for this Moroccan back line. I mean, this was the issue in the game against France, and it's the issue again in this one. There was holes that Croatia was able to pick apart and some nervy moments, and they're looking to try and capitalize it and retake the lead in this one. But Hakimi was wide open in the box in the 28th minute, and he won this one back, because with him being wide open like that, like if you're Croatia, I talk about Moroccan defense being a little bit suspect. That was kind of the same case for the Croatian defense. Like, you cannot leave Hakimi wide open in the box like that, and they got away with one because the ball that was coming into the box was behind Hakimi, and he just could not quite get any contact to direct that one in. I mean, if he could get any contact, that's in the back of the net easily. And then En-Nesyri would hit it just wide on the header, and En-Nesyri, I mean, he's gonna be just thinking about all the chances that he has missed, because you talk about a guy, like, we always, in every game, there's always a player that just not only can't find their shooting boots, but just feels like they've been put a curse during the game. And I think En-Nesyri was the player that gets that unlucky kind of characteristic. And it doesn't help if you're Morocco, because he's been one of the more dangerous attacker. But whatever he's trying to do in terms of put the ball in the back net, it just doesn't go there. And in other words, he just cannot buy a goal in this one. But there was no doubt that Morocco was kind of picking up steam, and they were looking to try to press to get themselves the lead for the very first time. Ziyech just pulls it wide from long range in the 39th minute. I think that was really his only good look, as I thought Croatia did a good job in terms of shutting him down. And speaking of Croatia, they would retake the lead in the 42nd minute, and this was absolutely filthy from Orsic here from Lavaha. I mean, Orsic basically chipped this one off the post and in. Now, I would say that, for Bono, I feel like he did kind of came off his lines a little bit too much, but you got to give credit to Orsic. I mean, the fact that he's had the audacity in terms of trying to chip it over the goalkeeper and able to put that one in. I mean, it's one thing to chip the goalkeeper from long range when he's way off his lines, but to do it in close range, I think that's even more impressive. Consider goalkeepers usually don't come off their lines whenever a player trying to chip them from like 20 or 25 yards out. And again, I think in this case, you could say that Bono maybe came off his lines a little bit too much, and he kind of got caught because of that. But that's nothing to forget what an incredible goal that Orsic basically scored here, and the audacity to try to do that is something that I don't think many people thought that he was going to do. But nevertheless, that would give Croatia a 2-1 lead, and that would be the scoreline heading into the second half. Now, in the second half, he was trying to go for another one here, but he unfortunately this time had his shot that was deflected and goes wide. For Morocco, definitely had more of the possession, but that's kind of by design because they know Croatia that all they need to do was just kind of do what they usually do whenever they're in the winning position. Just sit back and try to let the other team try to break you down. And I think from what we've seen so far in this tournament, for the most part, Morocco kind of doesn't have that ability to try to break down a low block. I mean, yes, they did kind of create some chances against France, but the French backline, as good as the French backline is, there's been times that I've seen that backline kind of been a little bit shaky. That's not the case for Croatia. I mean, so far in this tournament, Croatia has been one of the best defensive teams besides Morocco there, and that Morocco just couldn't create any chances against that stingy Croatian backline. In fact, the shots were 11-3 in favor of Croatia. So, despite the fact that Morocco had a lot of possession, the shots were still in favor of Croatia because of the fact that Morocco wasn't really creating any good opportunity for them to get the equalizer. And you could even say it was pretty comfortable from that Croatian backline for most part of it. Vlasic then pulls it wide from close range in the 71st minute before there was a shout for a penalty for Croatia that was not given. And then on the other end, this was the moment for Morocco. And, going back to En-Nesyri, this was probably his best opportunity because that ball somehow fell kindly to him. And Livakovic, we know that we have seen him make some big saves throughout this tournament. And there's no doubt that I think, between him and Wojciech Szczęsny, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to win the goalkeeper of the tournament in this one. I mean, as much as I would give it to Szczęsny because of his performance that he has with Poland during the group stage, you have to give it to Livakovic. I mean, Livakovic has made some ridiculous save to keep this Croatian team time in and time again, and not to mention he's a penalty kick stopper specialist. I mean, he has already won 2 PKs shootout for his Croatian team, and that you don't see that happen every tournament, and that I think in the end they're probably going to give it to Livakovic as the goalkeeper of this tournament. But yeah, he absolutely robbed En-Nesyri from front post, and again, En-Nesyri it wasn't falling for him right there. If he was in form, that is in the back of the net, but when you're not in form and you're facing against probably the best goalkeeper in this tournament, yeah, that of course would happen. We then had some coming together between both of these teams, again, just to show you that just because it's a third place game and what some people are saying it's a glorified friendly, doesn't seem like that's the case. I mean, both of these teams are still fighting hard to try to get that third place finish. Matej Kovacic then pulls it wide after having a really good look from 10 yards out. Speaking of a player that wants to have that back, that's the case for Kovacic. I mean, yeah, he was open from 10 yards out. He's got to put that one on target. Then it was Morocco turn to have a shout at the referee for the penalty, but the referee was not interested. And then in the 6-minute stoppage time, it's only fitting that on a day where just nothing seems to go right for Morocco, especially for En-Nesyri, he would actually had one last big opportunity from close range, and he hits that one high and onto the roof of net, which again just summarized the evening that En-Nesyri and this Moroccan team has, just unable to come back from the deficit that they faced. And in the end, Croatia wins the third place award 2-1. And again, it really means a lot to them. Like you can see after the game, the players, they were celebrating like they won the World Cup. And that, again, I know that some might say, well, why should they, of course, celebrate for something that they, of course, won third for? Like, that's just kind of looks really silly in some sense. But, for a nation like Croatia, a nation that has been punching above their weight for the past couple of tournaments and probably is a prime example of a small nation that has punching above the weight, they deserve to celebrate for their third place finish, and especially for a team that not everyone believed that this team was going to go very deep, and that everybody thought that last tournament was kind of at the peak of the power. They proved everybody wrong again, and that, yeah, what a great tournament that is for Croatia. And that's nothing to go against Morocco too, because Morocco, themselves, I think they also had an incredible tournament, has won a lot of hearts from Africa, and especially in the Arab world of the incredible record-breaking run that they gone through. And I even mentioned in that loss against France, they definitely want to hold their heads high, because they really gave it all and have made their nations proud. And it's going to be a story we're going to be talking about for a very long time. And overall, that's why I kind of like this matchup to be happening in the World Cup final, because no matter what's going to happen, yes, the loser of the World Cup final is going to be very frustrating, but at the same time, it's between two small nations, some underdog story, and that, how I love underdog stories, and I love some maximum chaos that happened in the World Cup. Man, imagine if this was a World Cup final match. This would have been a really interesting kind of match. But either way, shots in this one, 12 shots compared to 9 that Morocco has, 4 shots on goal compared to 2 that Morocco has. Both teams had 5 shots off target, 3 shots that was blocked compared to 2 that Morocco has, and possession-wise, 51% possession compared to 49% possession that Morocco has in this game. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys like, smash the subscribe button. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of this match. And yeah, tomorrow, here we go. It's time to decide who is going to be winning the World Cup, and that it's hard to believe that tomorrow will be the last day of this tournament. I mean, this tournament, it has just gone by super fast, and that, I gotta say that as much as, yes, there's been a lot of controversy in this tournament, I would say this tournament is going to definitely go down as one of the best World Cup tournament that I've seen, especially with all the storyline of the upsets that we had throughout the tournament. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to find out which team is going to win the World Cup. Will France becoming the first defending champion that we have seen in I think over like 50 years, or will Argentina potentially win another World Cup and finally give Messi of what could be his last ever World Cup with Argentina a great finish, and just kind of him, I wouldn't say right out off the sunset, because I have a feeling Messi is still going to be on this Argentine team. I mean, he's like 34 years old, something like that. I still think he have maybe another year or two, or another big tournament left in the tank. But yeah, this is it for him. A way for him to earn that undisputed GOAT kind of title. Let's see if he of course win it and earns that title. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys to like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.